My question for you is, how do you think Obamacare will affect the future of investments?
Yeah, I have mixed emotions about Obamacare because I had a series of reversals in my life, including time spent living in my car. I talked about this Confessions of a Street Addict. And I got very sick. And I got very sick because I did not have health coverage. And I think you have to be true to what happened in your life. Had I had health coverage, I would not have gotten as sick as I did. And I remember it like it's yesterday. So for the people who don't have health coverage, to have to hear from people who do have health coverage that they don't need health coverage because the stock market has to go in, because profits are hurt. Well, forget about it, because I didn't have an HMO in Northern California when I lived there. My HMO was Kaiser Permanente. It was only in Southern California, but I was stationed in Northern California, so I had no health care, and I think about that. The Affordable Care Act, I think, is hurt business formation because you don't know what it's going to look like and what you have to pay for. And I think that's a shame. But when I read the articles about people who didn't have health care before or are able to get on an exchange, I just hope that they're competitive.
But outside the ethics of whether or not people should have health care, I mean,
is there beyond the ethics? We can always come up with ways to make money.
Liberals have always been critical of Obamacare because it's a handout to health insurance. So in markets like insurance and pharmaceuticals and medical device manufacturers, it seems like it would be a boon to those markets.
Well, they've all had, the health maintenance organizations, the United Healths and the Humanas and the Aetnas and the Cignas have had extraordinary runs because, yes,
they're getting a bunch more customers.
Yes, we all felt that they would be hurt by this and their margins would be cut and they would actually be someone who would have to do more with less, and that didn't come out to be the case. The lobbyists for the pharmaceutical companies were big winners under the Republicans, where we do not have a competitive system. If you take a look at my father's a veteran. If you take a look at the Veteran Administration, what they pay for drugs, you'll see they're substantially less because
they can bargain.
Yes, they can bargain, but our government has decided not to bargain, unlike every other government in the world, because the lobbyists for pharmaceuticals are very powerful. The health maintenance organizations, they're very powerful. I'd like to think that there should be a TVA. A TVA meaning that there should be something like Franklin Delano Roosevelt did, which is to say, here's the benchmark of how we can produce power. Don't you dare go too much above this benchmark, because we know how to produce it, and you're charging too much. If I were Obama,
a socialist, sir.
I was at Trotskyite at college. I believe that the workers should own the means of production, and I defended that view vociferously. And I was a very hardcore union guy. Helped lead 2 strikes. Saw that actually wiped out 2 different institutions that I helped do labor actions against, and that was not good. I've had to balance this. When you lead a strike, a lot of companies can leave. A lot of companies can shut down. So it's very sobering to be as left as I was, be as involved in the labor movement as I was, to try to shut down J.P. Stevens and to try to bargain collectively for the L.A. Herald-Examiner and watch the L.A. Herald-Examiner close and J.P. Stevens go. So it's a very
So the question
difficult.
is there an industry that loses, that you wouldn't invest in, that you wouldn't advise investing in because of healthcare reform?
No, I would. And the reason why is this is very complicated, but I'm going to take one quick second.
Okay.
The companies that are most able to handle this are the companies whose stocks you have to buy, and this Affordable Care. And the companies that are least able to handle it tend to be not public. So this is one of those instances, and one of the reasons why you're seeing a tremendous run in the big multinational, international companies is it is nothing for them to handle this kind of legislation. McDonald's can handle it, but how about if you own a chain of 3 restaurants? I mean, I think it's just mystifying to you. You got to go hire this guy, you got to do that guy, you got to get paychecks, you got to get your accountant, and those are things that rich companies can handle, which is why their stocks are so good.